Hello, and welcome to today's Spotlight. Today's discussion is with Dave Lubnick, VP of Business Development at YCharts. Foreside and YCharts are partners supporting the advisor channel and have been working together for quite some time. YCharts was founded in 2009 to democratize investment research. YCharts has grown to become a full-service, fundamental research and client communication platform used by thousands of advisors and asset managers. The firm's guiding principles has always been to create a platform that works for investors, tools that are easy to use, data that is reliable and timely, and customer service that stands head and shoulders above the industry. YCharts offers comprehensive data, powerful visualization tools, and advanced analytics for equity, mutual fund, and ETF research, portfolio construction, idea generation, and market monitoring. For more information, you will want to see and start your free trial at YCharts.com. Dave, I'd like to welcome you to today's Spotlight series.
Thank you, John. It's great to be here, and it's exciting to launch this great partnership with Foreside.
Agreed. We're very excited about it. So obviously the benefits of a Spotlight series is that it delivers a clearer understanding about a company and what they do. And we'll get into YCharts in just a moment, but initially I always prefer to start off on a bit of an individual or personal note. Dave, looking at your background, you've had a lot of really interesting experiences. Can you give everybody a sense of how you started out in the business?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Thanks, John. So I started out in the industry in 2002 working for another financial services company, which is FactSet. And I worked for FactSet in the Chicago office for 4 years, servicing asset managers around the Midwest, and very much enjoyed that, but ultimately went back to business school. And then coming out of business school, I stayed in financial services, but on the other side of the table as an advisor myself. So I worked for Goldman Sachs in the private wealth management group as an advisor servicing high net worth individuals. Enjoyed that, was there for about 4 years as well. And then in early 2013, had the opportunity to join YCharts. So that was about 8.5 years ago. At the time, YCharts was quite the small company, but I was very excited to join a company as their first salesperson that was disrupting, if you will, the investment research space as a newcomer to a crowded landscape of tools that have been around for quite a while at that point. And excited to work with advisors having previously sat on that side of the table. So it's been a great 8.5 years as we've been able to grow the company from just a couple people to north of 80 employees now, with offices around the country, and focused to this day still on servicing those advisors and trying to present to them a tool that's easy to use, is reasonably priced, it's powerful, and it meets the needs of today's advisor.
That's great. I appreciate that background. It's always good to understand where somebody came from and how they've helped grow the company. And it looks like you've had a really influential start of that. So why don't we start with the big picture here and give us a sense of YCharts and how you help advisors and their clients?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a great slide to look at because YCharts has evolved a lot over the years. We started off as purely a stock tool to now covering pretty much all the data sets out there, along with a lot of powerful tools, all packaged into a website that's easy to use and mobile friendly. But when you think about an advisor's tech stack, we really like to think about where we fit into that. And again, I think this picture does a good job depicting that. We are helping that advisor in their communication with their clients. That can be through client portfolios and hypotheticals. It can be in communicating on a quarterly newsletter, social medias, now more relevant and popular than ever. But it could also be more on the research side of things, picking new securities, making sure that portfolios are optimized, looking at strategic or tactical decisions, taking into account economic information and how that plays into a portfolio, and just into conversations that they're having with their clients and prospects. And ultimately, it all comes together as part of that tech stack to help that advisor better communicate with their clients and prospects, increase their AUM, save them time as they are working through the research process and the portfolio process and so forth, and just have, a better relationship with everybody that they're working with.
Yeah, it makes complete sense. Let's now kind of dive into some of the key features of the platform. If you can highlight some of the areas where they really can add value, and how you guys support that process.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, John. So let's start off with the reports. That's one of the newer features in YCharts that we've really built out over the last couple of years, and we're excited that now we even have some of these reports FINRA reviewed with more to come. So we are really trying to encompass the needs of the advisors there when they need to talk about a prospect's current portfolio, a prospect's suggested portfolio, clients' existing portfolios, changes to those, et cetera. We've got some really nifty tools built out where they can create those portfolios seamlessly. They can keep them updated. They can have their logo and their colors and disclosures in those reports. And then once they're set up, really save time with the production of those on an ongoing basis. So we've seen, more focus, I think, on portfolios and models than ever before, and those reports tie in very nicely with those. Another piece of that is kind of just that construction of those portfolios, as well as now in YCharts, as we've added more data and more recently SMAs and models into the tool, just the ability to look at models throughout YCharts. As I mentioned, not that long ago, we were just stocks, and then that evolved to ETFs and mutual funds, and now we've kind of rounded out that offering with the SMAs and the models, as well as allowing that advisor to load custom securities and create their own models. Once that data is in there, and when they're looking at those portfolios, obviously charting is going to be a key piece of that. It's in the name of the company. It's something we do very well, and we have done since the very beginning of the company back in 2009. So what that means is any security that's in the system can be visualized. Those securities can be combined with one another. They can be custom time frames. There's a lot of customization when it comes to those charts. And I think what you'll see there also is the incorporation of the economic data. That is very popular regardless of the approach of the advisor, whether they're stock pickers or pure financial planners. Everybody's interested in economic data. And that's a pretty wide-ranging umbrella that we think about under the economic umbrella there. It could be treasury rates and spreads. It could be mortgage rates and inflation. It could be cryptocurrencies, vaccination rates, case counts, anything related to COVID. It's global. It covers the entire world. And then you put all that together into these charts that are not only pretty and easy to manipulate and put together, but then with one click of a button, folks can export them. So you will see us all around social media, in those newsletters, blogs, et cetera, because advisors love how easy it is to create that chart, export it, and then leverage that in other avenues. And then the last thing on this page right here would be kind of more from a research perspective. I think a lot of folks are constantly looking for, making sure the portfolio is optimized, making sure they have the right mutual funds, ETFs, or individual stocks in a portfolio. And YCharts is a great tool when it comes to screening for new ideas. So we have powerful screeners for those different types of securities. You can set your filters. You can set custom rankings and scores to aggregate, what you feel is important and uncover potentially new securities that you might want to add to the portfolio.
Right. Okay, that's super helpful.
Yeah, and then just a couple other things here. As we have continued to add to the platform, we're always cognizant of keeping the user experience seamless and easy. And we certainly provide dedicated support and training and ongoing support for no additional charge at an unlimited perspective. So we're always there for you. But we also like to keep it intuitive in the tool. And we released a feature not that long ago called Quick Flows that helps with that. It helps people navigate it, tries to kind of almost predict what they might want to build out next and help them with that. When they're building out those quick flows, that's oftentimes going to leverage all the data we have in the tool, which, again, stocks, ETFs, mutual funds, SMAs, closed-end funds, models, UITs, pretty much everything that's out there. 4,000 metrics for stocks, 400 metrics for funds and ETFs, daily pricing back to inception. So kind of covering all of the information on those securities that folks are going to want. I mentioned the scoring models a little bit earlier, especially when it comes to finding new securities. And then the customer support, like I said, dedicated account manager. We have a live chat through the system that goes straight to our team in Chicago. A lot of online tutorials as well. So certainly looking to almost be an extension of your team when it comes to the support aspect.
Great. Yeah, it seems like it's almost like an all-in-one solution for the advisors as they're trying to sift through all of the data that's out there in the market and providing that in a real cohesive manner. So that makes all the sense in the world.
Right.
Let's pivot to, a little bit more on the advisor and how they can use the platform. We have a lot of advisors who would probably be interested in that. So I think they'd really like a little bit more of a deep dive on exactly how they would use the system.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when it's interesting and worth taking a step back to think about that tech stack. Most advisors are going to have a CRM tool, a financial planning tool, maybe a performance reporting tool, but inevitably they need something when it comes to research and market data and client communication. When kind of the crisis hit in March of 2020, we saw more inbound interest and more traffic to YCharts than we ever had in the history of the company. Because I think a lot of advisors realized that they were going to be faced with tough questions. It wasn't really a scenario where they could just own SPY and put that on autopilot anymore. So that's one aspect of why advisors are relying on YCharts, is that it is that market data information, timely intraday quotes that are a couple minutes delayed with custom watch lists and setting up alerts and looking at economic calendars and earnings calendars and news feeds and just staying abreast of what's going on in the markets. It's doing that analysis on what other securities should we think about adding to the portfolio? How are we justifying our fees that we're charging our clients? And maybe we do need to make some tactical shifts in the portfolio. At the very least, everybody's asking us about mortgage rates and refinancing or inflation or COVID, and just having a tool that you can look at that information and put that in there and quickly have a chart that you can send to somebody or show them on a screen share and be able to answer those questions that those clients and prospects have, communicating with them. Looking across the portfolios, like we talked about, a lot of changes to the portfolios, a lot of rebalancing and needs to, just kind of, again, justify the relationship, justify the fees that they're charging. So producing those portfolios, producing the outputs, being able to send those again through a FINRA reviewed format or through a, with the appropriate disclosures on there, that's been very powerful as well. And then just kind of from a higher level, again, the markets, we talked about the intraday nature of it, but we do a lot of great stuff around fund flows as well, for example. So a lot of folks are interested to see where flows are moving. Are they moving in and out of certain asset classes, certain categories, specific funds? Of course, you don't want to be the last one holding a fund that's seeing a lot of assets outflow, for example. So we are really kind of the one-stop shop for anything that fits into that investment research, market data, client communication, aspects of their workflow.
Right, that makes sense. That's super helpful. So, excuse me. Maybe we'll pivot into a little bit more of the benefits of the platform. You mentioned about the compliance piece of it, and obviously the Foreside team is always interested in that. So we're happy that you're mentioning those pieces. But other areas that you want to highlight as we talk about the advisor role here?
Well, I think you have a couple of interesting ones here. Education of clients. So again, I have seen more advisors launching blogs, podcasts, posting on social media in the last year than we ever have before. I think everybody's seen the success that some of those advisors in particular have had as a way to get their name out there, as a way to even, create inbound traffic. So more and more people are embracing that aspect. And I can't think of a better tool out there where it's as easy to create a chart of any item that you're looking for, and with one click you can post it on Twitter or LinkedIn or a blog or a presentation, newsletter, whatever it might be. So that really hits home again on that increased communication. That's what most high net worth individuals are looking at are looking for from their advisors is more communication. They want to be in touch with them. They want to feel the love, and that's where YCharts is really helping them effectively accomplish that. We touched on the research side of things. We touched on the portfolio side of things. I do think we're also seeing more just kind of high-level research done than we ever have before. I kind of used the analogy earlier of a SPY and just let it go. But now, whether it's hundreds of ETFs being created every quarter, new themes, new sector ETFs, et cetera. We see more and more SMAs coming out. Obviously, single stocks and the meme stocks and everything like that has seen this resurgence. Robinhood was just going public today. So we've seen this resurgence in individual stocks. And even if an advisor isn't suggesting individual stocks, we've found that they have a desire to have a tool that they can look up those stocks when a client calls them and says, what do you think about GameStop? What do you think about AMC? What do you think about Tesla? That ability to just do some research or print off a quick one-pager out of YCharts on that stock or ETF or mutual fund. So again, that kind of highlights the communication aspect, but tying in the research there as well. And that, again, I think is this kind of new advisor that we're seeing in 2021 that we didn't necessarily see before the COVID crisis.
Right, and you're enabling them to add that value as well as be more responsive to their clients, which is obviously a huge differentiator in the market today. So that makes complete sense. So
exactly.
I think we've covered quite a bit today. Anything else that you'd want to highlight or share with the audience regarding the firm and what you guys are doing?
The last couple of things I leave people with is, first of all, there's always an opportunity to have a personalized demo. There's also an opportunity to have a free trial of the tool. And the fact that we are appealing to so many different varieties of advisors, some that might have a few million of AUM, some that are north of billions of AUM, whether it be a captive advisor or broker-dealer advisor, independent advisor. I mean, we really have large client bases across all of these different types of advisors, whether they're pure stock pickers or all funds, or they don't really view themselves as that at all. They view themselves as a salesperson, a rainmaker, a financial planner. Because of the different features which we've touched on, I really do think there's something for everybody. And then we're also seeing a large interest in YCharts across the asset management community, which I think is interesting because we have, at this point, almost 1,500 wholesalers using YCharts. Those wholesalers are using YCharts in their sales conversations with the advisors. So a lot of these advisors are then actually encountering YCharts through a different avenue. So again, it's just something that I think is becoming pretty popular out there, and they may be seeing it already and not even realizing it sometimes through those distribution teams, through social media posts, et cetera. So we certainly appreciate this relationship. Again, there's a nice discount in there for folks affiliated with Foreside, and we're more than happy to walk them through a custom demo and see if it's a good fit.
Right, and I think your point of you really do service the spectrum of advisors, which is really in alignment with Foreside's client base of some small advisors to some of the biggest and more robust around. There's a solution there that can really be tailored for each of them.
Exactly. Couldn't agree more.
Well, let's give people the demographic information. How can they get a hold of you? What should they do as a next step if they want to learn more?
Yeah, absolutely. If folks are interested, my contact information, my direct contact information is on the screen. They also can just visit YCharts.com. They can activate a free trial through that site. It's a 7-day free trial. Then they'll be contacted by somebody on our team to offer up a complimentary demo and experience there. Or you can email sales@YCharts.com and set up a demo as well. So we look forward to hearing from folks, and we'll certainly take care of them.
Agreed. This is a great opportunity for people. We want to make sure that we're taking advantage of the offer and the great customer service that you provide. So, Dave, thanks so much for your time. I think this is a great overview. We're thrilled here at Foreside to be your partner, and we look forward to working together. And we'll be speaking to you soon again. So thank you again for your time.
We are as well. Thank you very much, John, for your time and Foreside, and we're excited for this. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care.
Appreciate it.